Okay, I didn't put this through to Twitter, which is fine, because nobody likes me there anyway, which is fine. It's not totally true, but so I watched my I just don't know what to say. Gotta go outside and look at the trees, I guess. I don't know. I'm not upset because I think anybody owes me anything, or that I deserve more than anybody at all. I don't think that. I'm just upset because I learned, just because I do so much better when I'm not alone, and I will be alone until I die, and I don't like that. I do accept it, and there's an opportunity to learn something from it and to become a better person, and I would like to do that, but it hasn't been working. I'm gonna see if this guy, I've watched him a couple times. He's pretty upset, I guess. So I guess we have that in common. But let's see what he has to say.
For you. And we got to talking about dating and relationships. And he was talking about how he likes the channel. But he's like, I would really love for you to give a little more insight and a little more advice to young men about dating, what to look for, what not to look for. And this video is kind of just going to be me expanding on what I told him in a sense. It's like, dude, I don't really know what advice I can give, because for one, most people, men and women alike today, it's getting to a point where most of them don't even want to date. Most men are fed up. Most women, some say they're fed up. The others just actually don't want the commitment and stuff that goes along with it, or the discipline of towing the line when you're supposed to be committed. But for whatever it's worth, no matter how you cut.
So my last, I don't know. So the last reaction video that I did, I noticed that I was having a hard time finishing sentences, and that's what I want to get better at. I want to get better at finishing sentences. I noticed that I would start and I wouldn't finish the sentence. There are a few reasons for that. One reason is I just don't know what I think anymore. I have a lot of thoughts. I can put them together, but I can always find a problem with them. That could be because that's what I've been trained to do, that's what I know how to do. I know how to poke holes in arguments. I was in a PhD program for philosophy, which is a very strange thing for me to say, but it did take up a large portion of my life. I say strange for me because I never liked school, but I'm grateful for what I learned there. But it's been hard to balance that with a relationship. For me, I just don't. Those people aren't really my peers. That's just a fact. I don't really have any peers, I guess, because I've always been trying to do something to be someone else. Not always, but I got clean from drugs in 2004, and since then I've been working very hard on being a good person, which is good. It's good to want to be a good person, and I feel like I have succeeded in doing that in a number of ways. Yeah, I don't know. If you can see this and you want to make fun of it, that's fine. Let's see what Dapper Dev has to say.
A lot of men and women today just don't really want to date, and there's not really much advice.
Right, so I stopped for that big, that monologue because the long-term relationships that I was in were the happiest times in my life, especially the first one. The second one was good, but it was sort of like I was running away from the fact that I had messed up the first one. And then the second one ended when I was 38, so that's a wrap for me. It's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but you gotta figure it out. So I don't expect to be crying for the rest of my life. Hopefully I will figure it out. I don't want to blame anyone for this, because it doesn't help or make sense.
I can give to a young man about dating when the other side of the equation isn't playing the game, right? So it's like, what can I really tell you that's going to help you when we have a culture now where everyone's just trash, dude. Capital T trash.
I don't know what he means by capital T trash. Maybe he'll elaborate.
There's no real advice I'm going to give you to navigate lying and deceiving. There's no real advice I'm going to give you besides, basic looking for red flag.
So as far as lying and deceiving goes, in my case, I lied and deceived myself, and when I figured it out, I was honest, and I did the right thing, I guess. I don't know. Somebody DM'd me so I was in grad school, and I had failed my qualifying paper, which kind of broke my brain for a variety of reasons. And this person on the internet DM'd me, and I was very happy in my relationship. I didn't think anything was going to I didn't think anything could threaten my relationship at all. And this person just kept DMing me. And I didn't even think of it. It never occurred to me that this was like a man that I could like develop feelings for. That just did not compute in my brain. I don't know how to convince you of that if you don't believe me. That's the truth. At some point in some conversation, he had told me that he had been through something that the same addiction that I had been through. And he was a welder, and I was getting my PhD, and he basically pointed out some things in my life that I wanted to reevaluate. So between those two things, I developed a crush, which was weird. Why would I have a crush on somebody? That's strange to me. And I told a friend, and she, a woman, told me that what I was doing was wrong. And then I worked up the courage to tell my partner, and we broke up, and I was so embarrassed by it that I just went and I found another person. I didn't want to face his family, and I didn't want to make him have to live with that. I didn't think our relationship could come back from that. And maybe I'm wrong for not trying. Maybe. Maybe I ran from it. From what I did. But I couldn't imagine us going forward and him feeling good about himself. Like I did this thing, I didn't mean to, but when I realized I did it, like, I'm not talking about like actual physical cheating, but I developed feelings for someone and I had to address that, and I didn't know how to come back from that. And a woman told me that I was wrong, and that's when I figured it out. So I don't know what to say about women in general.
As much as everyone doesn't like to hear this, the only real space where advice today can be applied is the hookups. The only people that can really take applicable advice
Okay.
Apply it successfully, it's going to be people looking for hookups, because it's like there's no amount of
and hookups are awful. Ugh, disgusting. I'm sorry, but that culture, not good.
manipulating or navigating or positioning yourself or leveraging there's no amount of that you're going to do to set up a good relationship with somebody who's not open to a good relationship.
That's true. You can't manipulate or leverage or play your way into love. That is true. Although, I guess you can do that to break up a relationship. So the person who did that actually did die, so it's another story.
We have a society now, like I've said 1,000 times, the music, the television, pop culture, the icons, the influencers, like the culture is not geared towards healthy relationship.
No, I think that's true. I don't know how to characterize that, but it does seem like we are more image focused than substance focused.
And loyalty and class and dignity. No, it's not, bro. Every song you hear, every TV show you watch, every movie you watch, it all glorifies trashy behavior. It's like...
Yeah, so there is like this big competitive take to romantic relationships that I think is something that people in my peer group started, so people who were maybe partying had sort of understood the dark side a little bit. I think we started that, so I'm sorry for that.
I don't really know. And this is why he had brought this up. He's like, yeah, I really like that you're doing some reaction videos of the stuff we send you, but it's also not as beneficial as it would be to hear you give advice. But I'm like, dude, all I really can do for the most part is sit back and make fun of a lot of this shit. Because it's like, I'm not going to...
Honestly, so one time, Albert Camus, he's a continental philosopher. I never really studied that. But I was assigned to teach it one time. I had to teach so Camus entertains this question about why we shouldn't commit suicide. Things are so unfair. Everything is a contradiction. Nothing makes sense. So this has been a problem for a while. And his solution is to just embrace the absurd. And I have been taking that response, just laugh at everything. But the problem with that is that you can't always laugh at everything unless you just want to give up completely. Because you might hurt somebody's feelings and they might be important to you. So that's the most recent mistake that I made.
Say anything groundbreaking besides the stuff that everyone's done already. Look out for this red flag, or try to look for this in a woman. But we're at a point now where
and all of those red flags, they're usually indicating like some kind of behavioral problem, and they're not wrong, but I don't know that people with behavioral problems should be alone. Maybe they should. Maybe we should. Maybe. But I'm not convinced that that's the best way to do life.
So much lying, bro. Like, so many women today, they don't feel shame anymore. Like, make no mistake, there's always been bad women out there and cheaters and liars and deceivers, but it's never been this popular.
Yeah, so I think that's true. I think that there is definitely like this idea where everybody just wants to one-up each other. And that does seem to be getting worse.
To be a piece of shit. It's never been this accepted and encouraged for women to be pieces of shit. So it's like, when we have a culture like this...
But I will say that we got that idea... okay. If you hear a bad idea and you decide to copy that bad idea, you are responsible for doing that. So please understand that I'm aware of that before you hear what I'm going to say next. So what I'm going to say next is that this whole POS attitude that he's complaining about in women, that did come from a very sort of toxically masculine culture. So you listen to rap, you watch movies, and women are getting the short end of the stick and men are winning. Why would you want to go with the woman's role in that? You would want to sort of copy the man's role. So love became competitive at some point, and then he decided to hate each other.
There's really nothing I can say. I'm better off kicking back and making fun of it. And this is why the trad cons get mad at me when I say, regardless of how you morally feel about hookups, I'm sorry, bro, but it's almost your only option today, because you can't be the moral one. That can't be one-sided. Like, you can't. There's no amount of virtuous behavior you're going to display and carry out that's going to make it work with somebody who's not towing the line. And this is where a lot of like trad cons just get buried alive. They think I'm going to be a strong, stoic leader and, stay in my frame, and I'm going to show her I'm a leader. It's like, bro, no, you're not. She doesn't give a shit about you.
I don't even know what to say about that. There's a lot to say. So the first thought I had was, what was the first thought? The first thought I had was probably something like, be a leader. Women like that. And then the next thought I had was something like, but women today are not easy to be led. Why? Because we've had experiences out there in the world. We know how to climb the corporate ladder, etc. We know how to change our oil a little bit. We know how to change a flat sometimes. Even if we could do all of that stuff perfectly, and I think we can learn that. I do. I don't think it means that we don't need to love each other.
She doesn't give a shit about what her dad thinks, if he's even in the picture. She doesn't care, dude. They don't care. A lot of these women today they worship pop culture. They worship shitty music. They worship corn videos. They
Okay, I have goddaughters in their early 20s, and they do not worship that stuff. I'm sorry, that's just not true, and I don't.
They don't care about what you think or anybody thinks of their behavior. They're shameless, dude. All of their idols they look up to now have made their money selling their sexuality in some way, shape, or form. That's what they idolize. That is what they've seen be successful and respected and praised and admired for all of their life. Any girl 30 and below now. 35 and below. And again, that's what the simps reward. Most men reward the bad behavior.
Yeah, so there is, I would need more information to fill in the gaps about what he's talking about here. But I'm guessing he's talking about people on TikTok being empowered and sort of conflating winning at dating with feminism, where winning at dating is like not being the sucker, and if he wanted to, he would, so find someone who does. Because everybody's disposable. You can always anyway, apparently that's supposed to be empowering for women now, and I guess some guys are also confused about that, and they think they keep telling women that that's true, that being a jerk is good. And I think that they do that because for so long we were telling men that being a jerk is good, and so now women are being jerks, and so yay, everybody's being a jerk. But how about this? Maybe we could stop being jerks. And I'm saying this as somebody who probably fostered jerk culture in its nascent stages. I am, if I have to be alone for the rest of my life because I helped introduce jerk culture, right? Trying to get one over on the person you're supposed to love. This did not happen in my 30s. This happened like a long time ago. In my 30s, I was a pretty good girlfriend. I could have been better, yes, but like, I'm talking of like the jerk stuff was, my very, very early 20s, like barely even 20, like maybe 18, 19. So if the way to atone for that is to be alone forever, I am actually okay with that. But I hope that another consequence of that is that you guys stop. You guys stop being jerks. You guys stop treating love like a zero-sum game. Because love is not a zero-sum game. In fact, it's the only non-zero-sum game. When you team up with somebody, you guys have more resources and you can use your powers together. We don't have that anymore.
They reward it by getting in line and also wanting to be the next guy up for her. Please, will you pick me? Can I take you on a date? So it's like, dude, humans are incentive based. You know? The society that we live in now creates this stuff. I don't know what advice I can give to young men about dating, really, besides look out for this, look out for that. There's already a million channels doing that. You know? And again, when it comes to dating, like I've said 1,000 times already in this video, you can toe the line as much as you want. There's no amount of perfect behavior from you that's going to make it work with somebody who's not reciprocating that. Like, the amount of...
That seems right. I think that goes both ways. You know, so he's a straight man talking about women. But, you know, women can say the same thing about men. All of this is true.
Young women today that can lie with a straight face so demonically and not even think twice about it.
And that behavior was encouraged in men for a long time. Now it's encouraged in women. It's bad when it's encouraged in women. It's bad when it's encouraged in men. It's bad. Stop doing it.
Like, they can lay their head down at night not even remembering how much they're lying. That's how second nature it is to them now. That is terrifying. It's disgusting. Who wants to date? Like, you see these girls out here that are in like 5-6 year relationships, and they just have the dating apps, and they're giggling and talking to boys on social media. It's like they don't even feel a remote amount of guilt. They're like, what are you talking about? There's nothing wrong with this at all. You're controlling. You're insecure. I gotta leave you. You're so insecure.
Yeah, so one common thing you hear a lot today is that if a guy complains about this, then we tell him he's insecure. That is a thing that happens. We say you're not good enough, you're not a good enough man. And maybe there is a little something to that. Not a lot, though, don't worry. And I think when women are saying, I think women succeeding and doing well is an opportunity for men to step up and do almost as well or better. I'm stopping myself here because I don't want to commit myself to some version of gender essentialism that might work for many people, but that doesn't work for everyone. And I do want to be careful about that. Say what you want about it.
How dare you try to fence me in? Who do you think you are to make me think I have to toe the line at all? Like, this toxic shit has just gotten the best of them. And yeah, I think good women exist, but they're very few and far between. And most good women are bad women that are acting. They're only good until they're caught. Like,
that's not true. So that's not true. So as somebody, I am right here, I am admitting that I helped usher in this shit culture that we're in 25 years ago. I helped do that. Okay? I'm also going to tell you that I changed, and that was real. Okay? And I changed so much that I became kind of like naive, and that DM thing happened, and you can say whatever you want to about it. I did not see it coming. I have been asking myself about it, why that happened. This happened in 2017. I've been asking myself that for 8 years now, almost a decade. I think I finally figured it out. I don't think you're going to love the answer, but the answer doesn't apply to all women. Again, I'm someone who had to quit doing drugs in 2004, okay? I'm somebody who was not scared to be an a-hole. You know, I did that pretty well. And I didn't see a lot of other women acting that way at my age at the time. Now they all are. I don't even know where I was going with that one. I do think I'm doing a better job of finishing my sentences, but I don't think I'm doing a great job of staying on topic. So that'll be the goal for the next video.
The culture in which we live now, it is okay, this behavior for so long. It has normalized this behavior for so long. And that's why you guys think I'm extreme when I talk about like hip-hop music and shit. Women that are into hip-hop music, they're disqualified, bro. They're done. No.
Yeah, okay, so I guess, well, we don't agree. Don't disqualify someone because they listen to hip. There are many problems with that. I'm not going to go into all of them. However, a lot of the attitudes that we see in coming from that genre are very aggressive, and they don't belong in any story about falling in love. And a lot of them are about winning at hookups, and it sucks. And that sucks, and we need to stop that.
Woman that listens to that garbage is capable of a healthy relationship. I don't care how crazy you guys think that sounds. You'll see. If you're dating a girl that's reciting these garbage lyrics and shit that they think are cute, tell her randomly, hey, let me go through your phone. I promise you, bro, she's not gonna let you.
Yeah, so going through your phone, okay. I don't care who goes through my phone. Go through my phone.
You will definitely resist. And if you look through the phone, you're gonna see shit you don't want to see. And I'm ready for the heat in this video because I always get heat when I make videos like this. Bring it on. I don't care, bro. The culture in which we live today does not really allow healthy relationships. Our women in America,
Agree.
anyway, I can speak for my country. Our women who are out here going to these nightclubs, they are trash, bro. Those women are not eligible for a relationship. The fact that you guys even give them that is disgusting. And I'm not somebody that loves like the MGTOW stuff, and I don't want to be black pill and stuff, but at the same time, if you're being unbiased and you step back and you look at the dating situation, none of these women should be getting dates. They're not eligible. Like, they're disqualified. The way they walk, talk, and act, the music that they're into, the fact that they know all these trashy corn references, and like, bro, those women are not eligible for relationships. They are trash. Most of these women are trash. Me saying that gets heat, but what you guys should be focusing on is how sad it is that that's real. How the vast majority of our high school women and women that are in college say disgusting corn movie phrases.
I'm not aware of that, but, and I have three goddaughters between the ages of 19 and 25, so.
And they know what this means, and you know what they say about that? Like, dude, these women are garbage. They are.
And the oldest one has 2 kids. She figured it out.
Not capable of healthy relationships. So it's like, dude, it's very hard to try to be optimistic and give dating advice other than just, you know what, smash and pass, boys. Go out there and lie and whisper sweet nothings in their ears just to get a piece of ass.
That's what everybody's told, and it sucks. Stop it.
And then get out of there. That's all they're good for anyway. Like, I don't want to preach that, but if I'm being unbiased, that is all most these women are good for. I'm sorry if that's mean. I'm sorry if that's trashy. I'm sorry if that's not optimistic. Seems
not true. Like, that's not. So he's talking about, like, hot women that he looks at. Like, look at this guy. Look at this guy. He is F-boy coded. Like, he looks like somebody I would date, I guess. He does. But not, so like, he and I are peers. He and I are idiots, okay? There are normal people out there. I know, I met them. I met them in grad school. So please don't project what F boys like this and F girls like me. Don't project that onto everybody of one gender or another. There are nice, normal people out there. That is true. Maybe that's becoming fewer and farther between, but I would like to stop that.
But that's what it is when you look at the facts. You cannot make a wife out of a woman that's been running around acting like a 304. That's a rule as old as time. Anyways, that's a...
You can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Where does that come from? It comes from hip hop. That's a hip hop lyric. Do I remember who said it? I don't. Not off the top of my head.
Long drawn out rant, but that's why I don't really get into like dating advice so much, because it's hard to give advice to a man about how he's supposed to act when everybody that you're trying to talk to is not playing the same game. So I had a...
All right. Okay. So let's move this out of the way, or I don't want to keep your, I don't know, whatever. All right. Yeah. So I don't have too much to add to that. I did cry in the beginning. That's super embarrassing. I'm going to put it on Twitter. I don't know if anybody will watch it. I would like to actually make some decent products for people to watch. We'll see. Anyway, that's that. Stop being jerks, all of you. Stop it. Stop it. You don't want to be crying on the... Be nice to each other. Stop treating each other like numbers. Stop treating each other like conquests. All of you, boys and girls, stop it.